Hello everybody! Welcome to Heart of a Hobbit here on the official Lotro Twitch channel at twitch.tv/LotroStream. And I am your host, Little Redhead. I will be taking you around the world of Middle Earth today. That being the part of Middle Earth being, we're going to go to Hytbold. So we'll do that here in a second. So hello to the folks in chat. I see you. Thank you for coming along. Yeah, so I just here among friends, I upload these videos over to YouTube as well after the stream is done here. And they're not monetized or anything. They're just there so in case people want to look at them again later. But, I noticed that I've got like downvotes, and I'm like, who is like, is somebody just not like hobbits? Like, what's up with that, yo? So anyway, I appreciate the people who have given a thumbs up over on the YouTube, even though it doesn't mean anything except for, you know, it touches my heart. So there we are. All right. So let's start off with checking these ingredient crates. Let's get our free ingredients. So that one is the regular one. So that gives me 3 ingredient packs. So I can show you what those, oops, and then there we go. So it looks like that. And the first one gave me 3 and the second one gives me 6. So that's 9 for a day, which is pretty neat. Oh, right. Glory sent me a thing for when I get bigger. Sweet. He sent me a book. One of my kinnies sent me a book for when I turn level 85, which I'm 84 right now. So, you know, it's not implausible that I will get to 85. In fact, I will get there somewhere in the next, somewhere in the next month, I would expect I would hit it. If not, within sooner than that. Just checking to make sure I got my window going. I got 7 days and 7 minutes. Okay, cool. So I have a couple of benefits that I get from Wenda Cranesville over here, and they last for 2 weeks. And so I was just double checking to make sure. So I've got my subscriber town services. That's good for another 7 days and 57 minutes. And I have my subscriber buffs, which accelerates my crafting time, but also prevents item wear from combat to crafting and defeats. So that's awesome. So basically I never have to repair my weapons. And I like that. It's a quality of life thing that I quite enjoy. All right, so let me actually go ahead and remove these off my quest log. We're going to start fresh. Oh, and the cat cam is live over there. You can see Cato is snoozing happily, even when I go and pet her and wake her up just a little bit. Aww. She was sleeping in that same spot, but the thing was rotated. So before I came over and turned it around, so she is visible to all of you. Oh, look at that. You're being so cute. Yes, you are. Yes, that's right. She's live. Or still life. But she's a cutie. And then Casper is snoozing on the couch back there by the wall. So you probably can't see him because, like, there's me and stuff in the way. But yes, he is conked out over there because he's good. Yeah, he's like behind my chair, like straight through. If you were like Superman, you could see right through, you'd be able to see the cat. And that would be like the best use ever of that Superman power. All right, so let's get ourselves over to Hytbold. So, what is rebuilding Hytbold? Let me send myself off to Snowbourn. Do you need a lift to Snowbourn as well? Oh, no, wait. First, I gotta go, hang on. First, I'm gonna pop by Thorin's Hall because I gotta go talk to a guy. Ken the Roots says hi. Hello, how are you? That's fine. I'm going to get my, you make me think of like people getting their hair dyed. Roots, like, is it roots about their hair? And I'm going to get my hair cut this week. I don't go get my hair cut very often. But now that I have short hair, I kind of have to do it a little more often. or it gets all shaggy. It's shaggy now, but it's actually cute shaggy, which I've been very pleased with. Okay, first, before we head off to Hytbold and stuff, we're going to talk to this guy, because right now I'm running at level difficulty 7, which is great when we're in a party of 4, but we're going to be a party of 2 today. So I'm just going to run at difficulty 3. That's a lot more, a lot easier to deal with. Now I also have tokens of heroism to turn in. How many do I have? I'm kind of curious. Hero. I have 39. You know, so I'm going to go ahead and just turn in 30 to this guy, which is what tier 3 does. And he's going to give me 7 of these hero marks. The hero marks are then, let me show you, a barter. He has barter items, so I can barter for things with him using these hero marks. So like, for example, I got the epic shiver emote. So it looks like this. Hang on. It's so cute. So you do shiver underscore epic. And then you get this like, whoa, it's super gold. That's right. Epic Games TV says, gotta talk to a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy about something. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta talk to this guy. He knows a guy. He's gonna give me some tokens so we can. Oh, you've got the epic. What is that? Defeat? No, not defeat. What was that one? Wow, your eyes went red. Did you know that? Hold up. Let me come over. Look. And then when you get up, your eyes are glowing pink. Oh, that's so creepy. Which one is that? Epic what? Succumb. That's the epic succumb. Whoa. All right, that's a little freaky with the... Do the epic shiver, though. Oh, Can the Roots ask, why does nobody have pets in Middle Earth? In the books in Middle Earth, I wonder if they just don't talk about them. Because that'd just be an extra layer of complication where, like, you know, Bilbo's like, I'm going on an adventure, but first I gotta find somewhere to watch my cats, you know. Will you go feed my cats? And then, of course, they wouldn't, like, they would know he was coming back, and so they wouldn't get rid of his house. So I think that could be, like, too much plot would be involved with the cats. Or, well, with pets. I say cats because we have cats, and they're the best. But anyway, yes, as Weir Willow says, I don't know about you, but I have pets in Middle Earth, yes. In Lotro, you absolutely can have pets. Like, Aphrodite has just pulled out her cave slug, because, golly, why wouldn't you run around with a cave slug? I'm going to pull out Dash, my dashing feline. Let's see. I like this one. This is one of my favorites. It's a little white squirrel, but I call it the ghost of old Took. It's an in-game joke. So, yeah, I like having that guy out. It cracks me up. Epic Games TV says Lore Master has pets. That's very true. In the game, Lore Masters have this cool ability to call out a pet. So like a lynx or a bog lurker or a bear. There's a couple of others, like an eagle. And they have different... You can only call one at a time, but they have different ways. Like one is really good at DPS. One is really good at tanking for you. You know, one is really good at stealth attacks, things like that. So, yeah, so Lore Masters definitely do have pets that help you in the game, but then they can also have a cosmetic pet, because what we have right here are cosmetic pets. They don't, like if I attack something, my white squirrel doesn't attack also. He just stands there and looks cute. And if we go through water, they swim, which is fantastic. There's Tishin, the loyal turtle. So yeah, so we've got cosmetic pets in the game. So a Lore Master can have both their regular pet and a cosmetic pet at the same time. So they can have 2 pets out, which is kind of neat. Yeah, Van's captain says, "Cough, dogs are better." Dogs are like having another child. And that's a lot of responsibility. I've already done that. And they're grown, and I'm good. So, dogs are cute and stuff. I was bit by a dog when I was a kid, so that also kind of put me off dogs a little bit. So, let's see. And Bill, before says, given Sam's relationship with Bill the pony, I'd say pets are pretty likely, but not on a quest to Mordor. Yeah. Will Willow points out there are some NPCs that have pets. In the intro to Belflast housing pet, that's right. There's a dog that needs to be taken out for a walk. There's a cat house in Bree. There's a turtle house in Bree. There's a fellow with a cat in Garsfeld, a couple of dog lovers in Gondor. But Can the Roots is going back to the lore. Wants to know, do dogs or cats exist in Middle-earth? I have to assume so, and I'm trying to think off the top of my head if there's any instances in the text. I think before might be having a gander. That's also a really great question. Are there dogs or cats listed in Tolkien? Oh yes, of course. Before I was already mentioned. Farmer Maggot has 3 dogs on his farm, of course. Yeah, in the game, there's a house full of cats in Breetown. Is it that way in the books? The cats are mentioned? Yeah. Okay, so cats are apparently mentioned in Lord of the Rings. In what? In Fellowship of the Rings?
Or like in the silly song that Frodo sings.
Oh, now that's a good point. Was that Frodo that sang the Hey Diddle Diddle song? So he talks about the cat and the cat, you know, it's like the Hey Diddle Diddle, the cat and the fiddle, the cow jumped over the moon. Little dog laughed to see such a sight, and the dish ran away with the spoon. So that would imply to me they have dogs and cats and dishes and cows and moons. So yeah, that kind of covers a whole bunch of stuff. Oh, Radagast doesn't have any. Radagast is a friend to the beasts, friend to the animals. So that would imply that he is like, feels like, I think he is like a peer to animals in the books and not a, not like over them, not like a, you know, an owner of pets. But it wouldn't surprise me if he was like really friendly with a couple of them and that they hung around and helped each other out. That would make sense to me. Epic Games TV says, yeah, doesn't a dog chase them on the farm? So yeah, we've definitely got dogs in with Farmer Maggot and in the Shire in various places. So, and Sandy says hello. Hello, Sandy. We're discussing what animals, in terms of like pet style animals, you might encounter in the books, not necessarily in the game, Lotro, but in the books, in the Lord of the Rings books. So, Bjorn has dogs. Oh, of course he does. So yeah, so we've got dogs. We've definitely got dogs, and we've definitely got cats mentioned by Frodo. So therefore there must be cats. Because he says, I think he says he got that song from Bilbo, right?
That's not the only reference.
Okay, apparently there's multiple references to cats. So, to answer your question to, what was it, Count the Roots of, are there dogs, or do dogs or cats exist in Middle-earth? I would say the answer is yes. Cats and dogs both exist in Middle-earth, as far as Tolkien is concerned. And he's the one who created this, so we'll say yes. That's a great question, though. I love it. I felt all Tolkien professor for a moment there. So I mentioned that because there's a streamer that's on here on Fridays. Let's see, Cord, the SSG community manager, so he actually works for SSG, is on here at noon Eastern time on Fridays. And then after him is Corey Olson, the Tolkien professor. And Corey knows a lot of lore, and so that's a great question for him also. Oh, okay. Aimless passerby. Good timing. Says Farmer Maggot has dogs, and Bjorn's house there are ponies and dogs. So, yeah, cool. Bill the pony. Yep, we mentioned Bill the pony. So we've mentioned so far. Well, of course, there's the fox, but that's nobody's pet. That sees the hobbits as they're walking by. So yeah, we mentioned the dogs at Farmer Maggot's. We've mentioned dogs chasing the hobbits. Bjorn's dogs. The cat in the song, as well as apparently there's other references, and Bill the pony. So we've definitely got some pets and mentions of cats and dogs. Well, mentions of cats and definitely dogs. All right, I'm going to, before I forget, so before I get your traveling hat on, I'm going to take us to Snowbourn. And I'm going to start working on getting us over to Hytbold. So I will explain what we are doing here in just a moment. Oh, by the way, for the regulars amongst you, I've been I got a new mode of transportation. I got a 3-wheel bike, so it's like a giant tricycle for adults, basically. And it's just all black frame. It's got like a couple of baskets on it, which are cool, which I'm very happy that that comes with that as standard. But it's kind of like, just got this black frame all the way around, and I'm finding that kind of boring. So I'm like, hey, I'm going to crochet a crap ton of stuff and decorate it. So I'm currently in the process of like making, I'm in the making process, and making a bunch of flowers and things. And then I'm going to attach these in some fashion to the bike. So it'll be a little bit more, yeah, a little more decorative than it currently is. Check this one out. I did this one as kind of a test, and it's so funny. I guess it looks better on camera than in person. The pink on the outside is like super hot pink, and the one in the middle is just like a lavender, but it makes it look brown when it's next to each other. It's kind of funny. So probably won't do that color combination again, but the blue combination is pretty nice. I like that one. I like how that one came out. So probably I'm doing more of those. I'm doing like 6 of those, and then I'll just make a whole bunch of stuff and then figure out what I'm doing with it. It's kind of, it's a work in progress. Let's see. Okay, so while we're chatting here, I'm going to take us overland, and we're going from Snowbourn here, and we're going to ride over to Hytbold. So I'm just going to, I suppose I could get on my war steed. Are you on your war steed? I might just go overland for a second without the war steed. I might follow. Oh, hey, oak branches. Oh, hang on. I still didn't.
Did you need to turn left at that flank? Yes.
Let's see. I forgot. Hang on. My toolkit. I've been working on farming with a bunch of other characters, and I don't have toolkits for everybody, not the good ones. So they all have to share. You know, they're like a good family. They share. Apparently I need to, hang on. I want to go this way. Right? Oh, I think we kind of want to go more this way. Depends on how many orcs we want to encounter, I suppose. Okay, so let's see. Can the Roots says, Nikki, you need to turn on your stuff. There we go. All right, no, that's not what you said. You said, you just remembered when the Nazguls were entering the Shire, there was a dog barking. Oh, there's a warband. I don't know that we were going to do this warband right now. I don't know. What do you think? Is it a fellowship one, or is it a...
Small fellowship.
Yeah, we could do it. Hang on, let me get on my war steed. I'll be goofy, and we're gonna go attack this warband. So, okay, for those of you who haven't been out here, we're out in Rohan. We're in the Suckcrofts area of the Rohan, but we're out here in Rohan. See, we're down here at the bottom section. I'm going to change my map again at some point. Anyway, so one of the things you encounter while you're out here is this thing called a war band, which is just a band of something or others running around, and it could be a single thing, or it could be a group like this. Some of them are listed as being like one person, size, difficulty, and some of them, like this one, are listed as being like more of a group, so a small fellowship. So oh my gosh, you're defeated already. That's not ideal.
I was just mounted.
So this is for like, it's ideally for a group of 2 or 3. Now what I've done is I've just set myself to follow on one of the allies, and I'm just going to keep trying to take out the allies while Affadil makes their way back over here. Whoop, I'm also knocked off. All right, so I'm do my best. Now the interesting thing about war mounts is that I can actually mount back up in combat, so that's kind of handy. So we'll see if I need to do that. I probably do. All right, so we're going to keep working on these guys. Got rid of one, though, so that's nice. All right, Affadil's back. Awesome. Oops. Wow. That went quick. Cramp, which is the main one of this warband, is probably just came by and just hit me for one. Which, actually, I could probably tell you. Should I just go ahead and stand up?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to revive for free, and we'll hope this goes well. It just says, oh yeah, Cramp did 16,000. Well, that's not fair. I have 19. Come on now. All right, where is he? Oh, perhaps we should abandon this. Okay, we're gonna just move along. So where did you end up? You know what? I'm just gonna go to the road over here and I'll wait for you. How's that sound? All right, and I'm gonna pick up some branches while I'm at it. Okay, so that leisurely run didn't really turn out to a very good leisurely run, did it? Let me maybe get on a normal mount again, though. Hopefully that'll prevent me from doing that other thing. All right, so we're headed up to Hytbold. Anyway, we'll come back to that in a second. Let's see. Oh yeah, Sandy was saying it looked like a lot of storage on my new bike. Yeah, I sent a picture to some people, so yeah, I think it's I can carry groceries and stuff like that, which is pretty neat. Oh, another cat reference. Before posted while wandering around in Moria, Aragorn says of Gandalf, he is surer of finding the way home in a blind night than the cats of Queen Baruthiel. All right. Yes, I'm going to try and make my bike cozy. Aimless Passerby says, looks very lovely. Thank you. I found some patterns online. I was like, I'll just follow those. Oh, are you on a war seat? I got on a regular mount. Ken says, I think only dwarves generally approached animals cautiously. Could be. Maybe because they're just not used to having a lot of animals underground there, you know. Oh, I've turned on. I don't have my thing on. There we go. Yes, as Aragorn said, mines are not for ponies. Yes, the current streamer has died one time on stream. Okay, so before we get too far here, you see in the distance before you a town that doesn't look like it's in very good condition. And as we have been out in this area of Rohan, we've encountered various people who have talked about Hytbold, which was a city out here, and how it was burnt to the ground, or it was burned down by the orcs. So you can see everything is all charred and burned, and it doesn't look very good. And, you know, people are like, oh, I miss my home. I wish I could go back to Hytbold. I wish the orcs hadn't done this to Hytbold. You know, that sort of thing. So you do hear about it from time to time. So you can see there's some of the different parts of it. So the structures are intact, but it has taken a bit of damage. Let's see. I don't think we can see the inside of Hytbold yet. So we're going to go ahead and go up there. The orcs aren't there anymore. They basically trashed the place and left. Or maybe they were run off. I forget. So now as we're coming in, you'll see there are different roads off into different directions. Do we get a map yet? No. Okay. So we're just going to kind of follow these roads in. And so we've got a little area here, little alcove looking space. We'll come back to that. And then we've got another alcove-esque space over here. We've got some little buildings and stuff. And you can see, like, you know, the buildings look kind of burnt. There's been some significant damage, right? So so one of our jobs in the game is that we can come and rebuild this town of Hytbold. So the first thing you do is you come here into the center of town. Well, let's see, is there a map now? Nope, we don't get a map of Hytbold. So this is, yeah, you can kind of see it in my radar, but we've got another little road running off that way. We can go around the back of here. There's a little bit going up to the top, and like up some elevation there. But overall, the place is pretty well trashed. Like, this is the mead hall. You know, it's not looking so good at the moment. But we do have a fellow over here, Edgal, who's got something he wants to talk to us about. He says, I am glad you have come. There is a great deal to do, and we must get started immediately. So, he says, I am glad you found your way here. This is where it begins. There's a great deal of work to do if we are to call this a town of Rohan. I believe the people of the East Emnet will rally to aid you, but the effort will be great. They have plenty of concerns of their own to focus upon. There are 9 main areas to this town. The Mead Hall is nestled up near the cliffs with the study, smithy, and armory tucked behind it. So that's about where we are. Below that are areas for the inhabitants of each of the 4 eastern ridings. So we'll, and that would be, and they're listed over here on the side. So we have the Wold district, the Sutcrofts district, the Norcrofts district, and the Entwash district. So we're going to be rebuilding those little districts, those little enclaves I was showing you. Probably. So we're going to be rebuilding each one of those districts, but we're going to need to go back to those areas, to the Sutcrofts, to do some quests there, which then allows us to rebuild the Sutcrofts, and there's, like, it goes back and forth. We're going to go to the Norcrofts and talk to some people there in order to work on the Norcrofts and so forth. So now there was a mail. Yeah, I must have opened it. That would have vectored me here. That's probably why this guy has a quest for me. I mean, I don't think he does if you don't talk to somebody ahead of time. Yeah. So when you turned 84, when I turned 84, this is when this became available to me. So, okay. So he says, yeah, 9 main areas of town. We talked about that. Below are the areas for the inhabitants of each of the 4 eastern ridings. We talked about that. To the northwest of the walls are a few farmsteads. And while on the south are the remains of a lumber mill and water wheel. So, before we get started on the repairs, I encourage you to take a quick look around and familiarize yourself with the town. My hope is that you'll be able to help us transform this place and that it will not look as it does for very long. So, we need to work on the Mead Hall, the Wold, the Sutcrofts, Norcrofts, and Entwash districts, the smithy, the study, the lumber mill, and the farm. So, that's the 9. So, those are the 9 different things we got to go work on. So, we've got a bit of a laundry list of things to do. All right, so, and then Rinwald here. Oh, hang on. The Mead Hall of Hytbold is a large, impressive structure. And what else did it say? There is much to be done to restore its glory, however. So you'll notice that just kind of pops up when you are nearby it. Because we are doing the whole tour of the area and learn what's here quest. Learn where to find things quest. So this, if you've done any of the quests, like when you're in, like one of the housing instances, when they're like, find a mead hall, find a stately home, find a deluxe home, you know, and it has that kind of thing. So this has that same kind of flavor to it. Yes, Affadil points out that this looks like the remains of a milestone. So it is. And this looks like it could have been the barn. So what we are missing right now are a milestone and a stable master. So we cannot get here in any fashion aside from running over the landscape right now. So I think we want to go up here and take a look. I believe this is where, was it the blacksmiths was? So I remember we had to go up. Hey, there's a glory. There we go. While they're not scholars, the Rohirrim know the power and value of knowledge. This place was once that and can be again. So, oh, and I have a remote quest with Cramp. Oh yeah, well, we're gonna just take that off for now. We'll encounter him again later. Enough of the structure remains that with a little work, this smithy could be put back to good use. Awesome. Okay, so now we need to find the farms, the lumber mill, and then the 4 districts. Oops. And we also have to get caught on a piece of wood on the way out the gate. Because I'm good at that. It's one of my talents. What can I say? Okay, so just a FYI, to make sure everybody is caught up. And I try to tweet every week when I'm doing the stream. So as long as that still works, I will keep doing that. So we have 1 day left. Oh, sorry, hang on. The people of the Wold built strong defenses. It will be a great boon to Hytbold if they return. Okay, so this is the Wold district. There's a legendary items reward track. The way the legendary items used to work is you had a legendary item and it would gain experience and it would become stronger and stronger, and you would work with it in that way. But now the legendary item can grow with you. And so the people of the Entwash are renowned for their tales and songs. They will not allow any town to forget its past. Awesome. Hey, we have a guy here, Faire. It says ally, and we have we also have a water wheel. While the river once flowed by unchecked, once repaired, this mill will bring great use to Hytbold. So Egmund here is our kindred guy. So they won't talk to us until we are of that level with that group. So Entwash Vale, once I am ally with the Entwash Vale, I can do stuff with this guy. Once I'm kindred, I can do stuff with that guy. Each of the districts has that same requirement going on. Okay, so back to legendary items. The legendary item experience now goes to a reward track. So as you gain legendary item experience, it's applied to a track and you get rewards on that track based on that. They keep changing. Like there's a season basically where it runs for about 3 months. And then at the end of that 3 months, that goes away and a new track shows up and you start anew and you can get all new goodies and stuff. Because, okay, hang on. Here's the farmhouses. They escaped mostly unscathed, but the farm itself did not. Repairing these will be a priority if anyone is to return. Yeah, because you got to have food. Yeah, so the legendary reward track goes from 0 to 100. And so usually at every 25, so 25, 50, 75, 100, there's a special prize you can get, a special award, like a cosmetic pet, or I think there was a mount. There was the Halloween mount one time, or the skeleton mount. Definitely been heavy on the pets. Sometimes it's cosmetic items, like, you know, cosmetic wearables, things like that. And then everything else on the reward track. Oh, hang on. Here's the people, the Norcrofts, are unrivaled in their command of horses. And we got some horses over here with these guys. But they will be needed to defend Hytbold to the last. So here's our kindred guy. Oh, it's this guy. He's our ally guy. So once we're ally with these guys, we can talk to that guy. So we've got a bit to do. We need to locate the Sutcrofts district. So I think that was this direction. Oh, we're going off-road. Well, you know, he's got a goat and I've got an elk, so, you know, we can go off-road if we need to. It is no problemo. There we go. Wait. Oh, no, we need the Sutcrofts. That was Norcrofts. Here's Sutcrofts. The people of the Sutcrofts are experts at farming and assaulting the enemy. They will empower any town to outlast and destroy its enemies. So there's our two guys over here. Here's our kindred guy, and here's our ally guy. One of them, some of them are ally, and some of them are friend. So you can't always rely on it being the same thing. Okay, so we need to go back to the top of the hill and talk to that guy. Talk to Edgal. You want to follow me as I get us lost up that way? Avdil says no. Let's see, there's Norcrofts, and is it this way? I think it's this way. I just remember it being uphill, 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 uphill. Hey, I found it. Hooray. Back to the meat hall. Okay, so we've gone and found all these places. He says, as you can see, good Hobbit, there is much to do here. The forces of the enemy have wrought much destruction. It is up to us to rally the Eastamnet and show them the will and spirit of the Rohirrim. All right, so the Mead Hall is the heart of any Rohirrim town. It represents strength, hope, and tradition. Once it is rebuilt, it will signal to the people of the Eastamnet that we are serious in restoring Hytbold to its former glory. And Hytbold is one step closer to being rebuilt and restored. So we just like did stuff. And we learned how to rebuild. So there we are. See, now you see it doesn't look anywhere near as trashed as it was. You know, it's looking like it's got some wood. It's got the horses, the inlays, got all sorts of good stuff going on there. So the cool thing is, as your character rebuilds pieces of Hytbold, they are permanently rebuilt for that character. But it is character specific. So you can come in with somebody in your fellowship and you're like talking to some guy and they're not even there for the other person because you've gone further ahead in this than they have. So what's going to pop up is you're going to have like a bunch of deeds as you're working on rebuilding Hytbold. So there's rebuild the mead hall, armory, library, all of these basic things. And once you have done that series of things, then you get a title Legend of Rohan, and it gives you 2,000 virtue experience. But when it says rebuild the wold tents, I think there's like tents 1, 2, 3, 4. There's lots of subtasks in these deeds, if I remember correctly. It's been a few years since I did this, but I'm pretty sure that's how it works. So, before I lose track again, we should do the stable because rebuilding that restores the stable master, says Avodo. Cool. So before I forget though, the legendary item reward track. The current track is finishing in 21 hours. So Shift I is the default to open that reward track. And it says here legendary items reward track 6. So this is the 6th season of it. Tells me right here, time remaining is 21 hours and 51 minutes. So you've got less than 22 hours to go in there, gain any experience you want to do. You can do that through basically any quest once you hit Moria or hit level 45. It's kind of both. From then forward, almost every quest gives you legendary item experience. There's a lot. It pours in. So if you're out questing, if you're doing festivals, any of those sorts of things will give you legendary item experience, and that will apply to this track. Oh, you're so cute. Kitty Cam, Kitty Cam. Oh, what a cutie pie. Yes, you are. You're such a cutie pie. Her belly is not a trap. It's so awesome. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Sometimes she lets me pet her arms like that, too. No. And then she'll be too awake, and then she'll run away, but... Okay, so Weir Willow points out that, fun fact, if you rebuild Hytbold in a day, it gets you about 10 levels on the track. Before asks, did you max out Weir Willow? Weir Willow was, I know, working on trying to get to the end of the track because there's, as I mentioned, goodies at every quarter of the point through there. So at 25, this time is a comparable coffer of the pure seagull. So you get a seagull cosmetic pet. At level 50 is the legendary coffer of the goose house, which is so cute. It's a housing item, and when you click on it, a little goose comes out named Ferdinand, and he just walks around. It's fantastic. I love the goose house. Let's see, and then level 75 was the legendary coffer of the Cardalon Adventurer's cloak. She's being so cute. You are so cute. Yes, you are. You're just adorable. Yes, you're a sweetie. Oh, you want me to pet you? Sorry, the cat demands my attention. I can use my left hand over here, though. And then at the end of the reward track, let me zoom on to the other end, did I not? Oh, no, I've got that. Okay, was the cave slug. So yeah, so level 100 is the legendary cave slug, as before is mentioning in the chat. Cave slugs is for life. So yes, so I also have the cave slug. Now, if you get to level 100 on the reward track, and you're still earning legendary item experience, it just collects in this kind of overflow one, and so it'll just like level 101, box 101. So it'll fill up box 101, and then once it fills it up, it'll just set one aside for you, and that starts filling up again, it sets another one aside for you, and fills it up again, sets it aside for you. So I actually have 98 of these because we went nuts when the reward track opened up. And if you are able to do delvings, the delvings provide a lot of legendary item experience if you do the delvings at a higher level. To do a delving, it's like a mission. It's basically a mission, and you pick a high difficulty for that mission. And but you can only do the delving type of mission. You can only do the delving piece of it, that additional challenge to it. You can only do that if you are at cap level for your server. Most of the servers cap level right now is 140. We are not 140, but we're playing on this slow progression server, the Treebeard server there. And currently Treebeard is at 85. When this reward track came out, Treebeard was at 75. And we were at 75 also. So we just went and did a whole bunch of delvings and got like halfway through the reward track in the first week. It was ridiculously silly. We shouldn't have done that, but we did. It was funny. So I currently have 98 boxes to claim, and I've already claimed like 200 of them. It's insanity. But let me just show you really quick what that looks like. So when you open it up, when you claim it, it just looks like a little present. It's a little silver looking present, right? And I could do this all day. I'm like Siri, beatboxing. All right, but when you open it, it could be one of a handful of things. So it could be a coffer of ancient script, which this one is 50. It could be a sealed tracery, which is in this case. So if I open it, it's a tracery that goes onto your weapon. It could be a coffer of ancient script. This one is also 50. Oh, but I also got a Gundabad heraldry recipe selection box from opening that. So I got those two things. Those two things together came out of that box that I just opened. What else could we possibly get? More ancient script or more ancient script. So if you're short on ancient script, this LI reward track is a fantastic way to get a bunch of it. I'm actually maxed out on ancient script at the moment, so I've got to figure out what I'm going to do about that. We're going to talk. Before has ideas, he's going to help me out. Anyway, so I have the next 21 and some hours to claim those other 93 boxes. So this is your warning. Make sure you go out to your legendary reward tracks today, or well, in the next 21 hours, and gather as much as you can off of your reward tracks and do any extra stuff that you want to do. Like for example, on one of the servers that I play on, I'm up 24 out of 25. Like I'm partway through level 24, so I can't get the seagull. But if that was important to me for those characters on that server, I would want to be like, oh, let me go and do something that gives me legendary item reward experience. You know, mostly those characters have it because they've been doing festival stuff, and festivals gives you LI reward, LI experience, legendary item experience. But there's no festival on right now. But that's your other piece of news I wanted to bring up, that the Farmers Fair is starting on Thursday. So reward track changes on Wednesday. Farmers Fair starts on Thursday, so that's a perfect time to start getting new LI experience. So I'm happy about that. There's always housing items and cosmetics and other various things you can get there. So I always recommend, if you want to know what the housing items look like, go to this website, Deco. It is a French site, but he has it all done in English as well, because he knows the majority of people who play Lotro either speak English as their first language or know it from a second language or further on. So the whole thing, you can find it in English, which is fantastic for me because that is my first language. Yes. So go and check out Deco and get ready for the Farmers Fair on Thursday. So what have we got going on here? Currently, only some missions and instances have delving, points out before. There is a link in the chat to what you can find. Yes, I got a gold tracery on stream. That was fun. The traceries have 4 different colors, and gold is the highest, so that was kind of cool. Muba points out that if you need help from Standing Stone Games, contact them through the link that's listed there. Streamers, such as myself, I am not able to assist you, just FYI. I don't work for SSG. I'm just here having fun. So follow that link if you need some help with things, because I can't, unfortunately, I am unable to do anything to help you if you need help. Aside from advice, like I can provide advice and knowledge and things like that, but if you need in-game help, I can't help you out with that. I can send your money, I suppose, in the game. That's about it. Okay, so now we've got a couple of, both these guys have rings going on for me. So notice now that he has a whole laundry list of things he would like me to work on. And I think Rinwald has aiding the Eastern Net. We'll come back to that. That's a big thing. That's important. Okay, so we're going to do, what did you say we wanted to do? Stables? So we'll do the stable rebuild. So I'm going to pick that quest. And I need to gather tokens of Hytbold in order to do this quest. So he says, you have no doubt felt the size of the Eastamnet. Travel can take days if you do not have an able-bodied horse to take you across the plains. Stables connect our towns and allow for travel. If we're able to join the trade networks within the Eastern Plains, we must rebuild our stable. I'm happy to do that. So now the nice thing is that we talk back to him. Yo, Edgar, I got a problem. No. We are going to speak with him another time. And apparently I've got some of those tokens. I think we got it from him when we did things. Okay, so so we got what 25 tokens when we did the mead hall rebuild. I think we got 25. I wasn't paying attention. I'm sorry, y'all. I think we got 25 tokens when we did that go and find everything quest. And then they're like, now you have tokens. Let me show you how to spend them. I'm pretty sure that's what we're doing here. We have the Fateful Toolkits on. So normally you get 25 tokens, but with the Fateful Toolkit, let me show you my Fateful Toolkit. It has a thing where it says it grants bonus festival and landscape wallet barter tokens while equipped. It doesn't say on here, but it's a 10%. Oh, yeah, it does. Plus 10% wallet in the green. Wallet barter tokens, festival and landscape through good and bad. So it's a plus 10%. So for every 10 you would be getting, so like if he gave me 25, I get an extra 10, one for the first 10, one for the second 10, but then it rounds up. So for 25, I got an additional 3, which was really nice. It works that way with the festival tokens. If you earn 3 festival tokens, well, it rounds up to 10, so you get an extra 1. So instead of 3, you get 4. It's a huge increase, really, percentage-wise. It's fantastic. Okay, so now we're going to continue this quest. Boom! Stables are done. Ooh, ooh. So before I do anything else, I'm going to go talk to the stable master. And now I can get here from Cliving, Eoworth, Elthingles, and Faldham. Apparently, yeah, I don't know the others yet. Well, I could do slow travel from the others. Yeah. Count Webula, welcome. Hello to you as well. Okay, so we want to do the milestone, which is right there, right above me. And so that's going to be, is that Mead Hall Outdoor Enhancement? I think so. All right, we're going to start with that one. He says, okay, the Mead Hall is rebuilt, but there's much to do in order to bring it to its full glory. There are many upgrades and enhancements we can make to the exterior appearance and landscaping surrounding the hall. These small but important touches help to make a town feel unique and make a home for its inhabitants. And remember, I do have a token, so I can go ahead and do that. He says, Hytbold is one step closer to being rebuilt and restored. Ta-da! Now there's a Mead Hall enhancement called a milestone. So I'm going to do my Athengles. I'm going to get rid of Athengles. So now I've got return to the Mead Hall of Hytbold because I know it can get me to those other locations. So that's handy. Plus, I do have extras, so I could switch another one if I wanted to. Okay. So that is awesome. And we have a deed bestowed, which is the Mead Hall Outdoor Enhancements. So there we have to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Once that is done, then that counts as one of the 4 parts of the Mead Hall, which then is, I believe, what completes is one piece of that big laundry list that we saw before. So we have a bit to do, as you can see. But that's okay. We're just going to work our way through it. All right, so what do I want to do next? I forget what's the most next important thing to do. Do we want to talk to Renwald and get that started? Go do the thing? Yeah, okay. So basically, Edgal has things for us to do as part of the town. So the fences, the armory, the library. So we're rebuilding pieces of the town through him. Now, we mentioned, though, remember how earlier I was talking about how there's those 4 districts, and we have to have reputation with those districts in order to work on those districts. So Renwald has this really cool quest for us, called Aiding the Eastamnet, because this whole thing is the Eastamnet. He says, there's much to do to aid the people of the Eastamnet. Threats approach us from all sides, and those in power seem ignorant to the danger or worse. Go out and aid the good people of these lands, and they shall in time return your favors. So, this is a wrapper quest, and it allows us to, he says, go and complete quests that aid the Eastamnet. We need to do 5 of those. And once we do 5, we're going to get some LI experience, we're going to get some Steed experience, and some enhancement runes. So I'm going to go ahead and take that quest from him. Now, we need to go somewhere. He is not clear in his instruction. But he says people who need aid can be found primarily in Harwick, Cliving, Eoworth, and Snowbourn. Those are towns that are in those 4 districts that we are working on. So Eoworth and Norcrofts and Sutcrofts and so forth. Or Eoworth is one of the places. Anyway. Count Webula asks, what is nearest to you? In the world, we're in Rohan right now. We're in Hytbold. We're in the Sutcrofts. So, but I'm a hunter. So, one, I can just take us to Snowbourn willy-nilly, which is really handy. And then I think we actually have milestones to some of the others. Or we could take the Stable Master now, which is fantastic. So, shall I take us to Snowbourn? All right. So we're going to go to Snowbourn, and we're going to go find some of these Eastamnet people who need, who need help. So this is what's normal from this part of rebuilding Hytbold, is you make your way to one of those 4 cities, and these guys are by the Mead Hall, I believe. So, not Burgundy. Where's the Mead Hall? We were just here the other day. We've been questing in Rohan. Okay, there they are. So you see these 3 rings start to show up here. So these people have been hanging around here for a while, but now they're ready to talk to us. So each of them has a different quest or set of quests. So this guy, for example, has 4 different quests, and these happen to all be fish related. Oh, interesting. I didn't realize it, but Heliac, because his quests are fishing related, his ring doesn't show up if you haven't done fishing, but he can take you through that fishing training, and then he'll be able to send you off to do quests. Okay, so Daggerick here has a single quest, which is defeat some warg riders out at a farm. And then Waldag here has a whole series of quests, and they're kind of in pairs. So there's like 2 defensive wallstow. One is Eye of the Storm, and one is Triage. There's 2 Grampfronk. I'm not sure how you pronounce that one. There's 2 Langgraf, and there's 2 in the Creeping Wood. So remember, our quest that we currently have is to do 5. So you can see there's more than 5 quests here. So we're not going to... Okay. In general, you would not do all of these quests in a day. You would be able to do 5, and then, you come back tomorrow and do another 5. Same 5, different 5, up to you. There is a deed for each of these districts for doing each one of these quests at least once. So that's something you would want to probably do if you're a completionist like myself or like before is. Yeah, we tend to come in and do every one of these quests at least once. So we're going to start with that. All right, so where do we want to start? All right, we're going to start with Defensive Wallstow. So this one is, he says, the enemy is once again on the march, this time to the south. A concerted force approaches Wallstow from the north, south, and east. The town has already suffered great losses. Without reinforcement, it might not last this battle. If Wallstow falls, the southern gate into Rohan belongs to the enemy. So you must, excuse me, aid Wallstow and stand with its defenders. It cannot fail. So our job is to defeat orcs and trolls in the defense of Wallstow. Now notice it says here, completing aiding the Easternnet, which is those 5 quests, will cancel this quest. So that's one reason why you might not want to come here and just pick up everything, because once you've done 5, you lose the quest. You can't do any more. Okay, I'm going to pick up the other defensive wall stokes. We'll do them at the same time, which is triage. Wallstow has been under almost constant siege. The warriors there have fought their hearts out, but their numbers dwindle. Small wounds have been catching up with the men. If they can be treated, the wounds will heal and they can rejoin the battle. Take this kit and head to Wallstow. Use it to treat the injured and heal their wounds. Okay, cool. All right, so these quests are ready for me to go, so I click that. It's going to take me to a public questing area, which means other people could possibly be there, but I'm doing these quests. They may not be doing the quests. They may just be nearby, whatever. So, okay, are you prepared to withstand the enemy's assault at Wallstow? Yes, send me there. Let's do it. Okay, so I've got a little triage kit here. I've got a horse that'll take me back to the dude. I have a Kinney who's hiding or has turned into a post. Oh, look at you. I found you. Okay. So, let's see. Dum-ba-dum-bum. Oops. So, we are defeating these orcs and trolls that are in the area. But then we also need to find people who have been injured and need help. Wow, that guard was looking pretty bad. Oops, I'm being shot at. Hang on here. Who's shooting at me? You're shooting at me. Let's take care of you. Awesome, thank you. Okay, so this guy, we see he's hiding under his shield. He might be rubbing his leg. Okay, so I'm trying to remember how this works. So I click on him and then click on the thing, right? And it breaks open the kit, which is here. So I have a bandage, primarily used in the patching of arms. I have a salve, which is healing cuts and slices in flesh. Or I have a splint, used primarily in setting broken bones, particularly in the legs. Well, he sees me rubbing his leg, so we'll try a splint. Hey, he feels much better. Thank you for your aid. Well, you're welcome, bud. Glad to help out. There we go. Let's get rid of this crusher. He's being annoying. Awesome. Okay. So yeah. So we're looking for fellows like that who are not looking so good, hanging out on the ground, probably injured. Use your kit to start treating the soldier. Okay, so this guy also seems to be rubbing his leg. So we'll try the, let's try the leg thing again. All right. Well, nothing happened. Maybe he's not rubbing his leg? Let's try it. Let me try that again. Maybe I'm not close enough? I don't know. Maybe I need to try the other thing. Let's try something else. Let's try this one. I think this guy's really thinking hard about what he needs. All right. Well, that guy feels better. That's good. They tend to kind of clump at the same places over and over again. So, you know, if you if you're still needing people, you'll just kind of look in places where you've been before and see how it goes. All right, this guy sure looks like he's rubbing his leg too. I don't know. Hey, kit open. All right, so let's do that. Oh, yeah, I got it. All right. Ah, thank you. Count Webula asked who I am. Thank you, Moobot there. Yes, I am Little Redhead, and I stream here on Tuesdays. I call my show Heart of a Hobbit, because I'm always playing a Hobbit. Every once in a while I play a High Elf, but usually I'm playing a Hobbit. Seems to be my jam these days. Alright, this guy, he's hiding under his helmet again. Let me see if he can be treated. Or, can I call you Red? You sure can. Some people also call me LRH for Little Redhead. So that also is easy for me to recognize. Okay, so I've treated 3 out of 4 soldiers. I need to find one more. Let's see if this guy wants some help. Are you tired? Can I help you, mister? I'll try and bandage it. Hey, he needed a bandage. Okay. See, I knew eventually we'd get there. I'm not the greatest of the healers, but I'll get you there eventually. Okay, so we have defeated enough of the bad guys to keep Walstow safe. So we're told. And we have treated enough guards that they're going to recover and they're going to make their way back into battle, and Walstow will be saved. We're good. So now I need to go back and talk to Waldig that we started with. So, or Waldig. Maybe it's ugh. Oh, am I Canadian? No, but I live in the Netherlands. I'm from the U.S., but I moved to the Netherlands 5 years ago. So I've been speaking Dutch and learning Dutch, and so sometimes things kind of creep in. But originally I'm from the U.S. Okay, so we finished these two. So do we just keep... When do we do the thing?
And then note how the quest is very soon.
Okay. Okay, so we're going to turn in Eye of the Storm, which is, they will come again, they always come again, but for tonight, the people of Walstow can sleep secure, which is basically his way of saying, come back tomorrow, you can do this again. So what we're getting from this is reputation with the men of the Suckcrops, which is important if we're going to go and rebuild the Suckcrops thing. Getting some LI experience that I don't need today, but wouldn't that be great to have tomorrow? Steed experience and tokens. I'm going to get 10 tokens of Hytbold, but because of my kit, I'll get 11, I believe. 11 tokens of Hytbold. Woot woot. Okay, and then I'll turn in Triage. Every warrior treated enough to rejoin the battle should be the warrior that tips the scales in our favor, or could be. So there we are, and again, same thing. Oh, Count Webulus says, you seem so nice, like some Canadians. Well, thank you. I do appreciate the neighbors to the north of the U.S. There's just something very chill about Canadians. So yeah, I can... I will take that as a compliment, absolutely. Maybe it's because I watch a lot of Not Just Bikes, and he's from Canada. And, yeah. But he's not chill. I mean, he gets very worked up sometimes. Well... He gets worked up in a Canadian sort of way, I guess I should say. You know, it's really funny because I did live in England for a couple of years, like a while ago. And my accent started to migrate to the way the people locally spoke, because it's just easier to be understood if you speak in a way that they're expecting to hear. And so my accent kind of migrated. And so it was kind of like partway between American accent and British accent, so it did sound kind of Canadian at times. I was like, yeah, I was just kind of migrated, like physically, my my accent. It's kind of funny. Okay, so do we want to do some more Waldig? What do you think? Aiding the Eastham Net.
2 out of 5?
Yeah.
That was a good time to kill it.
Oh, okay. So we're going to do an experiment here, but I think Before's done this before. So if we open up the Aiding the Eastham Net quest that we're on, which we have done 2 out of the 5.
You'll need to pick up all the quests first.
Oh, I haven't done that yet. Okay. The plan is I'm going to cancel that quest here in a moment, but I can only pick up those other quests while this quest is active. So I'm going to go around and pick up all the other quests, and then... we're going to cancel that. So it'll be crazy. We'll just do that thing. Just right, Sandy says, I love that animation. I know, it's kind of cool with the horses that go back and forth. That one's fun. I like that. Okay, so Gampronk, digging for iron. He says, every day new warriors take up the fight to defend our lands. In order to fight, they each need their own weapons and armor. Otherwise, the battle is short and unsatisfying in its results. The goblins have primed a mine for us across the river at Gampronk. Bring this pick, head to the mine, and gather what iron you can scavenge. All right. And then at that same place are goblin miners. The goblins have found iron across the river to the south. They have done a great deal to flatten a hilltop and dig deep within it, going so far as to bring trolls to aid them. The more iron the enemy has and the more weapons the enemy has, the harder fought the battle becomes. So head across the river and defeat the goblins and trolls that are doing the mining. Okay, we're also going to pick up Langraf, Defilers of the Dead. This one, they're sending us off to defeat gridbugs and rats at Langraf. And then there's a companion one honoring the ancients, where there's tombs down there. We're going underground, and we're going to pay our respects at 3 different tombs. Then we also have the creeping wood, which are there's nests and webs in the creeping wood, but they've always been kept to the corners and the side caves, but recently they've been emboldened by the dark presence of the enemy. So we need to kind of push the spiders back in the creeping wood. And there's Rohirrim that have been caught in some of the webs and caught by spiders, so we need to free them from the spider's nest. Okay, so we have all of his quests, okay? This guy has the farms of the Sutcrofts. So most of our food comes from the farms just to the north of here, but that supply is being gravely threatened. Excuse me, a pack of warg riders has been rampaging through the fields, destroying the crops and threatening our much-needed food. So head out to the farms and drive these goblins and wargs away. Okay? And then we're going to pick up the fishing quests. There's 4 of these. So cuts of fish. And these are kind of funny. So the enemy has been rampaging through our fields and destroying our crops, which we've heard about. Food supplies are low and aren't going to last much longer. We need to supplement the farms with what the lakes and rivers can provide. So the best place for catching that many fish is the lake just outside of town to the east. The fish swim and get caught between the water wheel to the south and the water wheel to the north, and they can't get out. So stuck in that area, they just feed and grow. So several dozen cuts of fish should help fill the stores and get us through a few more days. So slice up the fish that you catch in order to get the cuts, and the larger the fish you get, the bigger, the more cuts you get out of it. So we need to collect 24 cuts of fish. Okay, so we're going to go do that. We have Terror of the Deep. If it's not the orcs we got to worry about, then it's something else these days, he says. It did not used to be this way. We had a long period of peace, but now it feels as if the very land is rising up to fight us. We've been sending out anyone able to catch fish from the Entwash to help supplement the food stores and replace the destroyed crops. Several have not come back from the shallows to the west. The ones who do speak of a terrible creature that has come up from the waters and devoured fishermen whole. So, they want us to head down to the stretch of the area where they think it is, see if you can get this creature to take the bait, and then ensure it doesn't harm anyone again. Yeah, go find big scary creature, and then like try and get its attention, and then see if you can get rid of it. 2 out of these 3 parts, I'm not sure about. Alright, the bloodfish. There are many fish that swim within the Entwash and its streams. The bloodfish is elusive and difficult to catch, but very large, and many stew pots can be filled with this meat. They're drawn out only if the waters are scented with the remains of a goat. Therefore, that's probably where the name bloodfish comes from. To catch one, you got to defeat a goat, and then while the kill is fresh, jump into the waters. And if you're quick enough, the bloodfish can then be caught. The scent will dissipate soon thereafter, so you must be quick about it. All right, so he tells us where to go find these things. All right, and then his last one is the Garsfield Guppy. While the Entwash has many fish, the Entfish, so do the streams that pour into the Entwash. Just north of Garsfield is a small stream that comes up from underground, and in between the mouth and the first waterfall, a kind of guppy can be found. The Garsfeld Guppy. It's unique because its bones are tough but pliable. There are no better needles for stitching and closing wounds. The fish is elusive and rarely stays in the same location for very long. So go up there and fish them. Okay, I have picked up everything. So now we drop it? Okay. So now I'm going to go into not all of those. Where is the... what's it called? Aiding the East of Net. So that's that wrapper quest. So now that I have picked up all the quests here, I'm going to drop the wrapper quest. Apparently before has tried this. And it works. Okay. So I still have all those quests active, and I can still go do all those quests, and therefore get the reputation with the men of the Sutcrofts as I am interested in getting. Okay, so which one did you start with?
Next one on the right.
Digging for iron? Gramponk? Gramponk. All right, so now we're in the mining area. Oh, I think the first time I did this, I was so lost on what to do because I couldn't find the mining that I was supposed to do. Okay, so we have to defeat the goblins and the trolls, and then... Oh, the quest isn't up for me right now. I gotta find... Where's the pickaxe? Digging for iron. Yeah, okay. There we go. So I gotta dig. You dig next to these things, but for some reason the first time I did it, it wasn't... This ore... The ground here looks to have little ore. Okay. So that's not a good one. So we'll go find another one. Alright, let's try this one. The ground here looks to have some ore. Do we keep digging? Oh, no.
You can.
But I have 0 out of 10.
It's not 100% if it's only some.
The ground here looks to have some ore. Well, good. Can I get some of it?
I got you.
I'm at 0 out of 10. Let me try that again. Hey, but goblins and trolls are being defeated, so that's nice. Oh, there's 2 out of 10. Okay. If I just keep digging the same place, does it count? Didn't give me any more. But here's aiding the Sutcrofts, and we have 2 of those done, so that's one of those quests we were talking about. And if we finish that, which is doing all of those quests of those things we just saw, we'll get some enhancement runes, some tokens of Hytbold, and some steed experience. Let me maybe try that. Oh, where'd you go? I'll come over here where you are. What about this one? Looks to have little ore, which apparently means 0. Okay. Maybe I'll try the next one. I hope that us digging together isn't causing, but who knows? I don't know. What does this one say? Looks to have some ore. Let me try that again because I didn't get anything. Okay. Hey, I'm at 3. So if I try again, do I get a 4th one? Nope. What about this one? So the thing about this quest that kind of, I don't know, I don't quite get it, is that it doesn't seem to indicate to you, like, if you're doing a good job. Like, am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing? Or, like, there's no visual indication that I can figure out of what's best. Ground here looks to have little ore. Okay, so Weir Willow says in the chat, I think I had the best luck here. You found a place that had some ore and kept digging ad nauseum. And you got some ore every 4 times or so. All right, well, this one, I think it had a little ore. Yeah, it's never made proper sense to me. I am with you on that. B4 says, little ore, some ore, lots of ore, just reflect the percentage chance of getting ore on a dig. Okay, so this one has some ore, so probably like a 50% chance. Or ish. So if I just stand here long enough, like, you know. Oh, but that's true. If I can find a place that has a lot of ore, then that would go a lot faster. Because I'm still sitting at 3, and that was terrible. I got nothing out of that one. It may have some ore, but not for me. This one looks to have some ore. Well, I'll try it again. Let me know if you find one that has a lot of ore. Hey, I got one. Oh, I think I'm about to be found. Nope, he didn't look at me. Cool, I'll keep digging. Well, I get a drink. Speaking of drinks, I'm going to tell you in a second. Scenario, who is one of the SSG devs, he is generally in charge of a lot of housing stuff, but he's also does a lot of the landscape development. And so every month he does like a stroll, a stream where he takes a stroll through a particular area of Lotro. And he does it about once a month. And he is doing a stream tomorrow, which is Wednesday, 2 p.m. I believe, at here on this this location, and he's going to be going through Wildermore. So bring your jacket. It's gonna be cold. Okay, well, it looks like I have found everything I need to find, except for the exit.
It's an instance.
Hmm?
It's an instance.
Oh, do I just portrait exit?
You
Okay, because I did that one, I did that one. Okay, I'm just going to portrait exit and get out of here. Sorry, I thought I was going to have to fight my way out. Nice. I'm out of here. Because it's a public instance. Cool, thanks for reminding me about that. Sweet. Okay. So, do I turn these quests in? I do, right? Okay. Oh, it just... No, wait. Okay, so yes, I finished that. Okay, cool. And Golden Miner is finished now. Ooh, yay, I'm an ally to the Sutcrofts. So, if ally is one of the people back in Hytbold for Sutcrofts, then I can start working with that guy and spending my tokens with him. Where'd you go? Where do you want to go?
That's what I'm looking for the big one, but I wasn't running around.
Ah, fair enough. Okay, so, but first oh yeah, because I got Locher points for my increased reputation. I'm an ally to the Sutcrofts. I completed that deed. Gotta work on Kindred. And my reputation changed. Cool. Okay, we'll go into the next one. Defilers of the Dead. And this is going to, again, send me into a public instance, which is great. Just looking at Cat. She's still sleeping. Yes. We've had an internal debate here in our house as to what's the best angle for the cat cam based on the limitations of the hardware and where her bed sits. Because her bed is actually sitting on my desk. Like, my desk goes to, like, here, and then she's sitting on, like, a TV tray out there. So it's it seems like it could be precarious, but it's not. It's not. We've been, you know, like every so often we're like going to move her about a little bit, make sure, you know, well, not when she's there, but yeah, move it about a little bit, make sure she's okay. Okay, so yeah. So this week you've got the legendary item reward track finishing up. You've got scenario doing a stream tomorrow. And then you've got the Farmer's Fair starting on Thursday. And if you're a Hobbit on Laurelin, you've got Green Dragon Friday on Friday. But that's every Friday. So that's not like a one-off thing. Oh, maybe I'll step back. Hey, all right. Nice, you're also ally. Fantastic. I'm here. Yep. Cool. Let's see, what are we doing here? I think we have to take these guys out, don't we? Yes, we need grudbugs and rats. And we also need to find the caskets that we're gonna go honor. Yeah, that. Oh, this is statues. Different one. Yo, let's get rid of that thing. All right, we have to give our respect to the statue. You have paid your respects. All right. Oop, it's gone. All right. Thank you. So there's 3 levels here. So we start, I think, on the lowest, or you go down. It's easy to get lost in here, is what I'm saying. So we're still defeating some grud bugs and rats. I'm at 7 out of 10. And then we're paying our respects at the tombs.
That one is back to ours.
Okay, so this is back to the beginning, I think. Yeah, oh yeah. Affadil is much better at 3D spatial awareness than I am. So I tend to follow Affadil a lot for this sort of thing. Here and Moria, man. Oh, okay, cool. So we're done with rats and things if we don't want to attack any others. It's up to us what we want to do. It's so funny because I have a lot of cosmetic pets, but what I've discovered is I don't run with them very often because I find them distracting. Which is so weird. Alright, so down another level. And so you can see we're kind of off into an area that we haven't seen yet. It's still got that fog of war going on where everything is dark until you discover it. Yeah. So moving around, moving through. Oh yeah, I've got more yarn over here that I got. I went and bought a whole bunch of like cheap yarn to make different flowers and things for the bike. So, all right, so we're gonna pay our respects to the statue. See, da-dum. Okay, we have paid our respects. Cool. And heading off to find statue number 3. And it's going to be where we haven't, you know, found anything yet. So it's going to be in this area somewhere, in this dark, one would guess. Skagosi says, hello. Hello to you. We are working on rebuilding Hytbold. So right now we're in a public instance where we have been sent to kind of thin the Gredbog and rat population while also finding statues and paying our respects. Not sure how that's going to help the war, but sure. Whatevs, you know? Alright. Always in the last place you look. Well, yeah, if you keep looking, that was silly. Alright, we're in a public instance, though, which means we're in an instance, which means we can leave the instance. I don't have to go find some horse at the beginning. It's very nice. I like that. I'm glad you remembered that. So I went to my physiotherapist yesterday, and then I was at the chiropractor today, and usually their appointments are not back to back like that. So, boy, I'm a little, oof, today. My body has been through a bit in the last 24 hours. Okay, so that was the Grumfrog. No, wait, that was before that. That was Defilers of the Dead. Right. One day, Langraf will be restored to its full glory. But today is not that day. No, I don't know. Kidding. Alright, let's go to the Creeping Wood and see if we can deal with the spiders. Nice. Oh, hey, a hope token. Well, I just got a lot of hope over here. Woohoo! Yes, that'd be great. Thank you. Okay, so we are... Wow, I don't remember this place at all. We're dealing with spiders, as you can see. Yeah, Affadil quite enjoys doing this minstrel thing where they just make this big noise and explode. Wah! And it takes out everything in the area. So even though I'm like the DPS, like Affadil is the DPS sometimes, and I'm like, okay. I don't mind. Oh yeah, and then we're also looking for guys trapped in cocoons. Now the fun thing is it's mystery meat. It could be a guy trapped in a cocoon, or maybe this one's all Rohirrim's in the cocoons. There's one where it could be an orc.
You have it right.
And it might be here.
You have it right.
Okay, but I do love the sparkly stuff on the sides. Like, so cool. I think, isn't there some stuff in a higher, like in level 140 now, where they've incorporated some of that bright, sparkly stuff? There's also like a a hat, I think, that I've seen somebody wearing. Oh, we got a reaver. I could have let the spiders have you. Oh, that's kind of gross. So I guess we just put you out of your misery. You're welcome. But yeah, there's a hat, and it has like mushrooms and some of what reminds me of this kinds of foliage also. I just think that's kind of cool. Oh, looks like we're going to have to hop down. Whee! Ka-thump. All right, there's another cocoon. Let's give that a go. It's a Rohirrim! Yay! Now, we get separate credits, so we have each found one person. Even though we have found a total of 2, we each need to find 2. So it is not fellowship friendly, that particular part of the quest. But the defeating the spiders is, so that's nice. We don't have to defeat 20 things total, just 10 total. It's not 10 each. Maybe because we're in a fellowship, we get tapping, and, you know, it's just easier that way. All right, let's check this cocoon. What we got? What we got? I have freed a Rohirrim. Get yourself out of here, bud. You don't want to be here. You can follow us if you want, mister. Oh, but then we're just going to disappear, so that probably wouldn't help. It's like, don't follow us, mister. Find your own way out. Save yourself. All right, and so yay. Okay, so we are done here. Sweet. We're gonna leave this instance. Weirwillow says yes, that hat and backpack can be bartered from the herbalists in the wastes area just before Mordor. That's awesome. I think it's really cool, so I look forward to when we get there. You'll have to try and help me remember to find that, because I think that's really neat. There's a Hobbit that wears that over on Laurelin, and I just think they look pretty awesome.
What business have you with the Rohirrim?
Okay, so now he doesn't have anything else he wants to do. Oh, hey, there goes the horsing thingy. Okay, so this guy, are we ready to go battle the enemy in the farms of the Zuckcrofts? Let's do it.
They're all over. Pick them off.
They're all over. Let's see, we need warg riders. Oh, that's it. We just need warg riders. So this is so funny. This is like really not very Hobbit friendly grass, let me tell you. But I can go up, thankfully. Also, there's red dots on the map. So, you know, that also helps it make it easier for us to find them. I think there was a red dot to the south. Oh, there's 2 over here. Oh, yeah, you got them. Okay. All right. Oh, we need 16. Dang. That one counts. Okay. I have 7 out of 16. Oh, they respawn really fast. So we could make our way back to where we started. I bet we'll get pretty close to finished. Sometimes I tend to run as a hunter on red line. There's one above us if we want to grab it. Okay. Which means that all of my skills, either like a lot of them have an induction, or I have to be standing still to get my skill to fire off. So if I'm running, it doesn't count. But I put myself sometimes on auto attack. Anyway, oh, that's 16 for me. Let's go find a horse and get out of here. So whereas Affadil as a minstrel can just like auto fire what they've got going on. So that's another reason why Affadil as a minstrel tends to be a little bit more proficient than I am when we're running around, which is kind of funny. Dinner has been saved. I do not know what tomorrow will bring, but we will greet it with full stomachs. Excellent. I'm glad to hear it. Okay, now he doesn't send us to an instance. We have to actually get ourselves there. So let's head over. So yeah, so we are on landscape difficulty. We're playing with landscape difficulty number 3. So we will have a little bit of a challenge. I need to make sure I have my fishing pole. I think I don't have it on me, so let me check my vault. Here's my fishing pole. It is a well-crafted Lebrathon fishing rod. Now, do I need to have it on yet or not yet? Well, we might encounter things and they'll be there, right?
This one, I think, requested this one.
Let's see. We're in the right area for one of them. We'll see if one of us can trigger. Is this the... No, this isn't the goat one. Which one is this? Terror of the Deep? Alright. So we're going to watch for this Terror of the Deep. Alright, no terrors yet. I mean, unless it was that fish. Oh, that's a terror. Hey, how about I shoot at it? Come stand in my traps. There you go, thank you. So the fun thing about this quest is that you're like fishing and all of a sudden you're being attacked and you've got your fishing pole to defend yourself with, which is, oh dear, I'm dying. Which is really annoying. Alright, I have cleansed myself and the healer is healing me. I think we're going to be good. Awesome. Thank you for making that happen. Oh. Hang on, let me follow you. Okay, so cool. We're going to go to the next one. Yeah, cool. Alright, so that was one of them. Now we've got to go basically to the other. Let me see if I can zoom out. Yeah, so we're here. And we got to get to... Oh wait, Terror of the Deep. Oh yeah, talk to the guy. We're fine. Bloodfish. Oh yeah, it's down there. Garsfield Guppy is... I don't see it blinking. But the bloodfish is down here at the bottom. So, oh, I guess I could turn off the cat cam. She's up and eating at the moment. We'll put the cat cam back on if she comes back, though. Alright, so... Oh, we found ourselves an orc. Not for very long, apparently. Nice. Okay. So this is... Which one is this? I think I have to go fishing myself. I can't just rely on Affidel to do all the work.
Small, medium, large, huge. This is the for
Oh, I'm going to switch to my other bar, because that's where my fishing button is. Okay, so we have to get a bunch of pieces of fish here. It's easier for me to tell if my fishing line is going if I see it from the side, if it wiggles. It's so funny. I find the fishing actually kind of relaxing in Lotro, but you have to pay attention, so there is that. Now, one thing you can do, Affidel does this, is you can adjust the sounds of what's happening around you. I got weeds. So you only hear like the sound of your fishing pole, basically. So then you'll be able to hear it's going, you know, like something's on it. So that's what some people do. Affidel likes to do that. Did I get fish? I got weeds. I feel like I'm not in a good spot. Where am I? Oh, here I am. Why is it not showing up? Oh, maybe I don't have it on my quest list. Hang on a second. Cuts of fish. All right, let's take a look at that map again. Cuts of fish. I mean, I'm in it. Let me move, oops. Let me move upriver a little bit. See if that makes a difference. All right, let's fish some more. There we go. So while I'm fishing, if you have anything you wanted to talk about in the chat, excuse me, got a little stuff in my voice. But feel free to drop it in the chat. We are very chat friendly and beginner friendly and excuse me, all of those things. All right, I got a small fish. Can I cut it? Oh, I think I can. I think I click on it and it'll cut into pieces. So we'll do that here in a second after I'm finished doing this particular fishing. Because I need 24 pieces. The smaller the fish, the fewer pieces you get. So there's that. All right, I got a medium fish. So if I click on it, I'm cutting it up into pieces. So there we go. I've got 3 cuts of fish, and I need 24. So I need to catch a few more fish. Yeah, so we're playing on the Treebeard server. It is the only legendary server that is currently active. There was some confusion, actually. Somebody in the world was saying the other day that they're like, so wait, Treebeard is closing down in a week or something. It was like, no. Treebeard will likely, the other legendary servers so far, and that has been like Ithil, Anor, and Shadowfax. Ithil was a slight anomaly, but basically they take the servers up till they reach the current cap, which right now is 140. And then they close those servers. So, for example, Shadowfax was active. It opened at the same time as Treebeard. But Treebeard, we are on a reduced amount of experience. We're receiving 40% of normal experience for every quest that we do. And excuse me, let's see, and then we are the world is opening up to us in smaller or in slower, more slowly than it did on Anor or Shadowfax. For example, every 5 to 6 months we get the next expansion. So we just got the expansion that gave us this side of Rohan, and the next expansion will get the other side of Rohan and Helm's Deep, and head out in that direction. Whereas if you start on any of the regular servers, all of that's already open. So you're just like, you could be anywhere in the world. There's no restrictions, which is fine. But I do kind of enjoy having it guiding us all together. I find that nice. So I'm enjoying the Treebeard experience. Now, Shadowfax did a very similar sort of thing where, the world opened up slowly over time, but their version of slow was every 2 months instead of every 5 to 6 months. Also, on Shadowfax, you got 150% of normal experience as opposed to 40%. So they were just zooming through the levels very quickly. There were some people who had really wanted to go faster on Anor. And, oh, can you trade with me? I think they're bound.
It doesn't say it's bound.
Yeah. You have extra fish?
2.
Yeah, I'm catching a fair share of weeds. Some fish, getting some fish. There we go, I got a medium fish. Hooray. I'm at 13 out of 24 cuts of fish. But I still have to open up that medium fish, so we'll check here in a second. But it's probably not going to put me over 24. I see you're playing with the orcs. Anyway, so Treebeard won't be closing until we reach level cap. That would be my guess at this point. Oh, I got a huge fish. Hang on, let's open that puppy up. That's probably going to give us a whole bunch of cuts of fish. Oh yeah, I just need one more, and I have a medium fish. Done. I have 26 out of 24. Woohoo! Oh, let me put my weaponry back on, though, because that's kind of important. Okay. I am ready for the next location. Let's do it. The bloodfish. This one was weird the first time I tried it. It took a while for us to get the hang of the bloodfish one. But that's one of the reasons why I like showing this on stream, so that way if this is something that you are doing, you can just pop back to the stream and, you know, like, okay, how did they do this? Oh, I see, you know, and you can see how it is possible to have success in doing these quests. So yeah, so my understanding is that Treebeard will continue to exist until we reach level cap, whatever they may be in, like, you know, 5 or 6 years when we get there, which is fine. Like, I'm totally fine with it. We have never before myself. Before is my sweetie here in the same room as me. So that's why I keep referring to him, because he is like literally like almost arm's reach from me. Not quite, just about. Yeah, that's right. We could reach out, but there's no camera showing that. Whoa. Uh-oh. We've entered a restricted area. We may have gone too far. I don't know. Now we're back in the Eastern Net. Okay. That was funny. It's like, you have gone too far. There must be a piece of it that kind of sticks out or something.
Why did they not say you shall not pass?
I know, right? It would have made sense if it says, you are in a restricted area, you shall not pass. That would have been great. Oh, I got dismounted. So in water, hobbits actually get dismounted in shallow water sometimes, whereas like elves and... because, I should say, hobbits and dwarves, because they're on ponies, will get dismounted, whereas like others won't. It's really funny. Okay, so let me get my fishing pole back on. Okay, so as soon as this goat is dead in the water, I think you might want to put him in the water. You're covered in goat scent. Quickly jump in the water. Oh, we jump in the water. And now we fish. There it is. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for red water. Okay. Now we try fishing. It's kind of bizarre. I think somebody was like just in a weird mood when they came up with some of these. Like, we need some fishing quests. What can we do? Well, you know, I've heard of this thing. Like these vampire fish. Like, what? Alright, how did we do? How did we do? I caught weeds. Alright, let me try again.
Yeah, keep going. The blood will last for a while.
Okay. So this quest is defeat a goat, scent a fishing hole, and catch a bloodfish. Like, that's the literal words that are there. Some bizarre stuff, man. I don't know, maybe because I'm standing in the water, is that causing me trouble? I'll try one more time, maybe a different angle. I don't know. Random number generator, man.
I think you got like a 10 to 25% catch chance once you...
Well, you got it on first chance, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, every number's going to come up when you flip a die. It's just...
We're just going to keep trying until my random number comes up too. This is why on that one quest, that here fishy fishy or whatever, I'm like, I'm never going to get that one. We got to catch the rare fish 5 times, but don't catch the bad fish, or, you know, oh my gosh. I'm like, my luck does not hold for those things. Well, the good news is if I don't get it before this area turns not red, there's another goat nearby. And there it is. The not red, I mean. You are covered in goat scent. Quickly jump into the water. I'm in the water.
just
Okay, here we go. Let's try again. So yeah, so Treebeard has a smaller population. I mean, for one, it's a newer server, as opposed to some of the other live servers that have been around for years and years. It's also a subscriber server, so you have to be subscribing to the game in some fashion. Lifetime subscription, or monthly, or yearly, you know, VIP, whatever. any of those count. I got weeds and a carp. That's nice. So yeah, so if you are somebody who's looking for a calm experience where you get to take your time, I used to joke that Shadowfax was zoom zoom and Treebeard is whoom whoom. So we like it nice and slow here. But yeah, I'm really enjoying being able to like, I mean, it's a somewhat self-imposed, right? Like I chose this, but kind of being forced to like spend time in these areas where a lot of times we would just kind of zoom through, we do what we do, blah, 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 be gone, you know, go to the next one. Hey, caught a fish. I caught the correct fish. I'm good. Hooray. Now I put my stuff back on. And let's see. And then we still have the Garsfield guppies. And I'm guessing it's going to be north of Snowbourn. Okay, gotcha. So we're going to pop back to Snowbourn. Zoom. And we're actually going to take the Stable Master and go up to Garsfeld, right? Yeah. Because that's where the guppies are, so we've been told. So yeah, if you have anything, any pressing questions about Lotro, or crocheting, or knitting, or the Netherlands, feel free to pop it into the chat. Or just hang out, chill out, enjoy the ride. Look at those lovely clouds. That's actually quite pretty. I wonder if I can grab a quick screeny. Oh, no, I could not. Too slow. That's okay. I grab all these screenshots, but then I don't actually do anything with them, so it's okay. Okay, so we are up here at Garsfeld, and we are now looking to go out for the Garsfeld Guppy, which is north. You can barely see it. It's blinking up there. I apologize. I thought I had fixed... Oh, you know why? Because I switched my... What? There's a cat meowing. I hope you didn't bring a frog in, did you? She's been catching frogs lately. Little ones, little baby frogs about this big. I'm bringing them into the house, and then she plays with them. It's really annoying. Anyway, I totally forgot what I was going to say. Ooh, branches. Oh, so I use UI skins. I like the way they look. The JRR skins collection is the one that I use. So here, I'll pop that into the chat. UI. And I like them quite a lot. But a problem, aside from the fact that I just lost track of my fishing pole, is that the map, it's not there anymore, is small by default, which some people like, and I've used it before, but I like the full map when I'm streaming a lot better. Okay, so what we're doing here is we're looking for these little spots here in the water that look like little, you see the little air bubbles coming up there? Those are where the fish are that we're looking for. So we're trying to fish near those bubbles. But the fish is elusive. Yeah. Let me watch my general tab. What did I get? I got a Garsfield Guppy! Yay! I got one. Yes, the fish is elusive enough and rarely stays in the same location for very long, is what it says in the quest. So these little bubbles here that you see bubbling above my head, they will disappear in a few moments, and we'll need to find their new location. And it does seem to be a little bit of like being fished out, because we've run into that before where we were fishing the same spot and it went away really fast. once we've each caught like one or two. But then like we've noticed if we're separated and we're fishing separately, it seemed like it took longer to disappear. Could just be, you know, bias of what we thought we saw versus what it actually is. Hard to say. But they still got bubbles. I've got 3 out of 4. You know what's really funny is I'm really into the festivals, and off the top of my head, I can't remember which fishing quests are part of the Farmer's Fair and which ones. Oh yeah, the Farmer's Fair is the one with all the fishing quests, I think. With that huge, hey, I got 4 guppies. I'm good. This is a good spot to fish if you want to come back, but it's probably gone by the time you get back here. Just saying. I'm going to put my stuff back on. Ka-chunk and ka-chunk. Nice. There's a fox. Hello, fox. Awesome. What was I going to say? Oh, so anyway, on the UI skins that I use regularly, I've gone in, there's like a line of code that you can go in and take out. And thankfully, on that link, that Lotro interface link, if you go into the instructions, the information about it, he tells you exactly where to go and how to find those words and so which lines to delete. So that way you have the full screen map. So here, I'll show you real quick while we're waiting here for something. So Control O opens up the options window. You can also do it by hitting the caret down below me here and go over to System. That also brings up the options menu. So you've got options. And if I go to UI settings, which is here, and then about 2/3 of the way down is the current UI user skin. And so I'm using JR Delving Hills Wide 1, but I think, do I have it on Wide 2? Did I fix the map? So this is one I run with a lot more often. I think I switched it because I was showing how to do that on screen one day. So, nope, I still have the short map. I don't know, I'll just have to go back in and fix it sometime. All right, shall I take us to the Snowbourn? Yeah, let's do it. All right, here we go. Wow, we're actually coming up on 2 hours. So, I think we're gonna turn these in. So after my stream is B4's stream. And so when I'm done, he's gonna set up his stuff and stream after me. First, let's turn these in. All right, so we should have 4 quests with this guy. Cuts of fish.
What business have you with the Rotary?
And, excuse me, Terror of the Deep.
Will you aid
It was an avonk, you say? I knew it was not some unknown monster like the others believed. Still, it is a dangerous threat, and I thank you for taking care of it. You're welcome, buddy. The bloodfish. This is a very large one. Well done. I can make stew for a week with just this one fish. And the Garsfield guppy. These look like nice fat fish. I might be able to get a bit of meat out of them in addition to the rib bones. Hooray. Ooh. So, okay, yes. So I did complete that. So this is a plugin that I'm using. It's actually called the Deed Tracker. And Deed Tracker is something that Before put together. And he based it, the construction of it, off of another plugin that was about rebuilding Hytbold. So it's kind of a nice little callback being right here doing this. So in the Deed Tracker, it has a very similar look to the in-game deed log. Like it's set up to be the same tabs and the same order and all of those things so that it's familiar and easy to find things. So for example, we just did Rovanian, Great River. So if I go to Rovanian and then I go to, is this Great River? That's Eastern. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is Great River. And it shows me like deeds of the Great River that I have done. Oh wait, maybe that's probably what it be. Or was it Rohan? It's probably Rohan, wasn't it? Eastern Rohan aiding the Suckcrofts. So let's look. I have all these open at the moment. So Eastern, or sorry, there's Western Rohan. Yeah, Eastern Rohan. Here we are. And Quests of the Eastham Net. Done those. So this has all of the deeds that exist in the game listed, including hidden deeds, because hidden deeds are not shown in the deed log on from the game. So like there's social deeds you can do. Actually, let me see if I have any of those outstanding. Now I'm kind of curious. Let me collapse these. So you can see that I have 44 out of 46 of my class deeds done. Let's see if there are two. Oh, the Adepta Bows and Master Bows. I have to get to level 130 to finish those. So that'll be a little while. Race and social. Let me make sure that's the same ones it thinks I have here. Yep. Because I'm on landscape difficulty, so that's what those are about. Race and social. We have some outstanding deeds there to work on. So the social deed, here we go. So insulted is you have to have rude done to you 200 times. Also, doing rude to an NPC counts. So that is under the race and social deeds. If I look here, you're not going to find that deed because the social deeds are hidden. So I don't actually know how far along I am in that hidden deed. But I do know by looking at the deed tracker that it exists. So that's really nice. Yeah, Arabani says this plugin is great for tracking unfinished and especially hidden deeds, but it uses so much memory so it slows down and crashes the game for you. Oh no! That is unfortunate. Now you can have it so it doesn't load, so at least you could have it. Well, let me think. Would that work though? You know what? So he's going to be, B4 is going to be streaming here in a couple of minutes. He's going to go get some stuff ready. And so after my stream, just kind of catch everybody up, is before a stream called Plugin Along, where he talks about plugins and does some plugin stuff on screen, on the stream. So Airbnb, that might be good to bring up because I don't know if they have any suggestions on that, but you might be able to figure out like where it is, and maybe like is your computer running out of memory or whatever. So maybe there's a possibility if you were to get like more of whatever it is. Oh, you use it to check the list of deeds and then you unload it. Oh, now you could do, yeah, okay, that's fair. I like having it running because I don't want to have to remember what I did. Also, I like that it puts little dates in there when I do it. Not that there's a way to run a report out of it yet, but you know, if there ever is, that'd be kind of cool to be like kind of track like when do I finish deeds. I think that'd be kind of neat. And I like it automatically checking them off for me, so that's nice. But Airbnb, one thing that is nice is if you finish a wrapper deed of some sort, so like reputation deeds. For example, you know, if you are like with Thorns Hall, so if you are, oops, I just scrolled right by there. You know, you have to first become known to Thorns Hall, and then you become friend, and then you become an ally, and then you become kindred. Well, if you check off the kindred box, it's going to automatically check off the other ones below it because you had to have gone through those in order to become kindred. So at least you've got that, so you can just like check the overarching one, you know, and it'll automatically like take care of the others for you. Oh, it's on your PC. It says I still use 32-bit client because 64-bit works very slowly on your PC. I see. Yeah, I don't, unfortunately, the 32-bit versus 64-bit conversation is definitely one that's been had a lot, and especially on the old forums. People used to talk about that a lot, but I don't know. what the workarounds are or what the help is with that. I know that Severlin, and he is the SSG executive producer, so he's like the guy in charge of everything. He's also in charge of D&D Online, so he's in charge of both of the games that SSG runs. And he has mentioned something about, I don't know, he's got a lot of stuff that they're working on. So like people, at one point SSG, or maybe the parent company, because they get bought, their company got bought by somebody and then they sold it and it got bought by somebody else. But basically the core of the people who are working on the game, like everybody from Severlin on down, is able to just like keep doing what they're doing. It's all above them, like investors and people that don't really know what's going on the ground, you know. So it might have been one of those investor publications or something, but there was something about how they're going to do like a big graphic overhaul of the game. And so people, and I think the hope was at the time, like the thought was, do all this work and then just like boom, all of it at once would show up. And Severlin said a couple of months ago he was on Cord's. Cordovan is the SSG community manager, and so he's the guy who interfaces between the game and the company and the public. And so Cord streams here on Fridays, and on one of his streams, Severlin was on as a guest, and they talked about a whole bunch of things. And one of the things Severlin said was about how instead of doing it that way, doing a whole bunch of stuff and then just like attack everybody with all this stuff. No, those are not the words he used. Those are the words I'm using. They're doing small changes, like, the launcher. There's something about the launcher where it requires certain things, and it's something to do with like the DirectX 9 and DirectX 13 or 11. Anyway, the intention is to go in there and remove that requirement the way it's in there. So stuff like that. So they're slowly making changes here and there. Like they recently did a Race of Man update where there's a lot more customization that you can do on your characters, like with the face and the shape and the hair and the different styles of hair and like the type of the body stuff, or I don't know. So there's a whole bunch of stuff like that happened, and so they're like incrementing it out. So it makes me wonder if things like what you're running into with the 32-bit and the 64-bit, if that will be resolved by some of this incremental work that they're doing. That would be my hope, right? Because I know you're not the only person who's mentioned that you're still using 32-bit because you have a problem with 64. But yes, we'll see if B4 has any thoughts on his stream about what you're running into with the D tracker and possibly other things. I'm guessing it's also affecting other things for you. So, hey, Flinter Hunches says hello, Little Red. Hello, how are you? Who had it? I'm actually just about to wrap up my stream here, and I think B4 is okay. He's getting ready to start up his. Oh, but just a little quick side note. So a couple of, quick little things. So B4 and I have been in the Netherlands now for 5 years as of like this last week. We arrived in the Netherlands early August, and then we got our official residency approved in December 5 years ago. So congrats, says Blinder Honjes. Thank you. Honjes, sorry. So we are now, well, as of December, we'll be we'll be able to start, we'll be able to put in the application if we want to for permanent residency or apply for citizenship, those sorts of things are things that we can do. But we have to have been resident in the Netherlands for 5 years. So that'll be actually in December. But it means it's coming, which is very exciting. In order to do those applications, though, we have to do a number of things that, shows the Dutch government that we understand Dutch culture, and that we are able to like get around on a daily basis within like the Dutch language. Like, can we understand it if somebody says something to us? So listening, can we reply? Can we speak? Can we read things? You know, and can we write? Yeah, at a reasonably low level. Like we're not talking about having like an in-depth discussion about the nuances of the different political parties of the Netherlands from, you know, the 1980s through 2010. That's like a treatise, like that. That's some higher level stuff. But more like, you know, hey, I have hurt myself. I need to go to the doctor or to the hospital. Can somebody direct me on how I might get there? Or why do people hang their backpacks outside in the, you know, in the like the May around May? That's a Dutch thing. When somebody graduates like from high school, basically, the kids will hang their backpacks outside on the flagpole, and it's like congratulations, you've graduated. So that's kind of fun. In May time. Like, who is the king? Or, you know, or like they'll put a picture up of William of Orange, who's kind of like the father of the country. Like he's very important in the country. And so like you have to see a picture of William of Orange, and they're like, who is this? So we have tests to take. And so the test, it'll be like, you know, it'll say in Dutch, you know, wie is dit? And you'll be like, okay. And you have to, and some of it's multiple choice though, which is kind of handy because sometimes they ask some really goofy questions. Like one of our Dutch friends was looking at one of the tests, or the tests over Dutch culture. And they're like, I'm not sure how I would answer this question, but with the multiple choice, it makes it really obvious. Like one of the questions was one of the silly questions was about like, you're buying a house, what's the point of your real estate agent, basically? And they're like, to help you move your boxes, to help you paint your house, you know, to help you with the paperwork, like, or whatever it was. It's really funny. Oh, you want to take the test to see how you do? Before it's going to pull up the link, because there are practice exams that you can do. Now, they're not recent because I think they don't want to like make it too easy for you to be able to anticipate what the actual questions on the test might be. But yeah, we've got 5 different tests we have to take. So, one over Dutch culture, and then the other 4 over language. So, lezen, schrijven, luisteren, what did I miss? Spreken. So those are the 4 different exams that we have to do over the Dutch language, and then the one about the Dutch culture. Official Uncle Danny says, it's interesting how they still ask questions about our king, considering how irrelevant he is overall, a relic of an older time. Actually, one of the practice exam questions was, what does the king do? And they were things like, what was it, like cuts ribbons, or that wasn't it. I don't think that was it, actually. That was where I think we were joking that that's what it was. Creates the government, signs bills into law, and it's like I can't remember the other one was, like assigns who is the prime minister or something like that. Like, and you know that these, you're like, oh, okay, right, yes, cuts ribbons and buys yachts with our money, says official Uncle Danny. So I do appreciate though that like the Dutch monarchy, there's like a consistency across, regardless of who the prime minister is, regardless of what else is going on. Like there's always that consistency in the culture, and I like that, because I would say like in America we don't necessarily have that. It's so swingy. Can be, depending on who's in charge, but that's also because we have the 2-party system, whereas here, you know, there's this whole coalition thing, and the coalition thing is also something that is a little complicated to get used to, and that there was a question on one of the practice exams where it was like they listed out 3 different of the political parties, and they're like, which one's left, which one's center, which one's right, and of those 3. Which was funny because I think this test was from like 10 years ago, and those parties aren't necessarily the same as they were then. Some of them have drifted a little bit. So that's kind of, that's been entertaining. Yeah, the Kennis van de Nederlandse Maatschappij is, has some really interesting questions. I think you Dutchies will find them really interesting if you go through that. Like, yeah, like I said, our Dutch friends, we came over, so we had some friends over on the weekend, and we were kind of celebrating our 5 years in the Netherlands. And yeah, we had a barbecue. See, we were very Dutch with that. Sat outside in our, our thing in our achtertuin, and had a barbecue, and we were very Dutch. Yeah. Oh, I have to say, so those of you guys were here at the beginning, I got a new bicycle, but I got a three-wheeler because I've been having I have got balance issues and stuff. But it's so boring. It's like, it's all black, all the frame and everything. It's got baskets, which is great, but they're all kind of black frame, boring. So I've started crocheting some flowers, and I'm going to put these on the frame of my bicycle. So yeah, I'll probably end up on, Instagram or something. It'd be hilarious. But yeah, so I'm going to be doing that. Oh yeah, so one of the questions there is, Vendor just says, I thought you need to do this earlier than 5 years. Some people do. And I think before mentions that it's a requirement to immigrate to the country for some countries, but for some like us in the U.S., it's optional from the U.S. Official Uncle Denny asks, which province are you guys in? We're in Gelderland. So we didn't want to be in the Randstad because it's kind of like, we wanted to, if we decided that we were going to move to the Netherlands, and we're like, if we're going to be in the Netherlands, let's be in like, echt Nederlands. So we wanted to be where it's like, so in the Randstad, there's a lot. It's very international, fantastic. Love international stuff. I love the coming together of cultures and, and all of that exchange that happens. But that wasn't what we were looking for. We were looking for going to a place where we want to learn a new language, right? Like we enjoy foreign languages, and we want to be able to use the foreign languages, as opposed to like in the U.S., you learn them, but you don't you ever practice them because everybody just speaks English. Now, of course, people in the Netherlands, a lot of people do speak English, and so it's really funny because, like, you'll be in a situation, and this is for those especially who aren't here or haven't experienced this, but like, I'll walk into a store and I'll be like, trying my best. Now this is really bad sometimes, but I'll be like, hallo, ik wil graag ijsje, alsjeblieft. Like, it's so disjointed sometimes, right? It just sounds really awkward. And so they'll just switch into English because they're like, let's just make this conversation go easier for all of us. And then oftentimes the Dutch person will be like, oh, I'm so sorry, my English isn't very good. And I'm like, dude, you are so fluent in English. How do you say your English isn't good? You're like miles beyond. Anyway, it's just, everybody here speaks such good Dutch, with exceptions. Where we are, just for context, for people who aren't from here, is so by Amsterdam, Rotterdam, The Hague, those kinds of areas that you've probably heard of, are where like 50%, and also Utrecht, another city in that area, is where 50% of the people in the country live, approximately. And so it's very international. There's a lot of stuff going on. It's a very busy kind of space, and we are further out from that. We're more inland from that. We're really actually like half an hour from Germany, and so you get kind of a more of a sense of people aren't necessarily moving around so much. They're not encountering people from other countries and other cultures within their community as much as you would in some of those other places. So there is definitely a lot more Dutch spoken here, because why would you speak English? There aren't any people speaking English around you. And so we've definitely run into people in stores and whatnot here where they don't speak much English, or they're not comfortable with it at all, which has been really good for us though, because that forces us to then really work on our Dutch. Oh, Linder Honches says they're in Overijssel. That's funny. Let's see. So yes. Oh, so you're asking about the requirement to move to here and have the in Bartering tests done and all of that. And the immigration tests. For some people coming from some countries, they do require you to do that before you move here. And then depending on your situation, you might arrive here and they may say you need to get this done within the next 2 years. It just really depends on what kind of visa you're on and what got you here. Like we know one guy, he was here on like a marriage visa, but he was coming from like somewhere in South America, and so he had to do, I think he had to do some of the tests before he arrived, and then he had to do some other tests once he arrived, and they had a time limit on when he had to get those done. So whereas for us, I'm on a self-employment visa, so that is a renewable visa. And in fact, we initially had it for 2 years, and then after those 2 years were up, we renewed it for 5. So we could just continue renewing that every 5 years ad infinitum. Like there is no requirement for us to ever go through the integration process. But it's a choice that we've made, and yeah, we love it here. And Flinter Hunches is originally from Limburg. So yeah, so that's a little bit of a move. So let's see. Before it says learning Dutch is hard enough with all these Dutch people that speak English so well. Yeah, and so it'd be harder still in the Randstad. Official Uncle Denny says, "Oh, you actually looked up recently the number, despite knowing a lot of people who speak English here. 90 to 95% of the Dutch." Speak English. Yeah. And I think it's really the older folks who didn't have it in school, or it wasn't as like, maybe it wasn't required. Because I know there was like a certain point at which point English was required to be taken in school. But before that it wasn't. Because I know we had a grocery clerk one time we were checking out, and she was definitely older, and she was asking us about something. And this was early on, like in the first month or two that we were here. And basically what it was is something didn't scan correctly, but we were putting the stuff in the bag, and she was trying to ask us to take it back out, I think, and we were not understanding her at all. And she basically ended up calling over like, you know, a 20-something manager or coworker to come over and talk to us, because it was just, we were not yeah, woof. It was tough. So that was like another time where we're like, okay, we really need to get better at Dutch. You know what I mean? Like that just those kinds of experiences stick with you, because you're like, it forces you in your mind, it pushes you to want to do better. You know what I mean? Yes, as B4 points out, yeah, some of our neighbors here in town, we're in a village. Last book English, yeah, in Middelbare school. So that's like when they're a teenager, basically. And they are, yeah, definitely. One of them is much more confident with English than the other. And so that's just like, okay, we just need to, you know, and this is, I mean, like, we came to your country. We don't want you to, you don't have to speak our language. We should be speaking your language. Urbani says, from my experience, many Dutch speak English, but how they speak is another matter. Half the time I barely understand them, and other half the time they make me smile. You know, an interesting thing is that in English we have the words to teach and to learn, whereas in Dutch there's one word which sounds very much like to learn. It's leren, and so Dutch people really miss that to teach verb. It just seems to drop out of knowledge, because I know many Dutch people we've run into who are in that situation where they're like talking about to teach, to learn, and they'll say, you know, I'll learn you how to do this. And it's like, I know what they're saying, but it always catches me off guard, because I'm like, this is somebody who's very fluent, who's very intelligent, you know, and yet they say it like that. And I think, well, that's really weird. But it's because of that overlapping verb. Oh yeah, or before points out at the bottom, like that reflexive verb. We don't really have that so much in English. There's this there's this verb construction, and the Dutch will already understand what I'm talking about. And you get this in some other languages too. I think German does it. I think French does it, where it's like, I feel me badly. You know, so it's like you've got that reflexive pointing back to yourself. I brush my teeth. Yeah, so you know, we do have it a little bit in English, but not so much. And so yeah, so we'll have people who will be like, you know, I feel me bad today. It's like, I know what you're saying. I got it. And then you're translating it the way it's done in Dutch. Like, you know, I feel, you know, so, yeah. So it's just the way it is. It comes across. It translates. There's so much in Dutch and English that translates so close, almost one to one. Like, I put the cup on the table. You would say, you know, ik zet de beker op tafel. Like, that's almost word for word the same thing. So I can see why occasionally, both ways, between Dutch to English and English to Dutch, that it can trip you up, because it's just, it's for me, it feels like it just straight over so much, so often. So let's see. Let's see, the V88 has joined in, says, my English usually was better than Dutch in school. That's awesome. Official Uncle Danny says, even a lot of the older folks speak English quite well because we've always been big on international trade and, of course, the world wars. But yeah, so I think it depends on where you are, because, like I said, we're out in Gelderland, which is, I wouldn't say it's more provincial. I would just say it's less international, except for like Germany. Like, there's so many people here. Our TV gets German channels. Like, that's just because we're next to Germany. And so a lot of people in this area, Dutch was their first language, German was their second language from watching TV, and then English came along. So it's really, yeah, it's really interesting. Just, yeah, I'll be talking to somebody who's maybe, I would think maybe left school when they were 18 or whatever, and they know like 5 languages, and I don't think they understand how amazing that is to me. So, and then you have words like gezellig. Yeah, as V88 points out, it's such a great word, and it's like, that one doesn't translate one to one. Like, if somebody asks me what does that mean, I end up coming up with like a whole battery of words to try and explain that one. Urbani says, are you sure the Dutch have the same word for teach and learn? Because German has 2 words. Yeah, it's leren is what comes across. Yeah, so official Uncle Denny says, I'm in Gelderland too. A lot of older folks still speak English here. Oh, well, that's your personal experience. But yeah, they'll be better at Dutch and German. Yeah. So, gezellig is very gezellig word. Yeah, everybody, there could be additional words as before, but leren can be used for both. And it seems to be, like, that's what we were taught as the word for to teach, and to also the word for to learn. So, and I was surprised at that, but then I started looking at it, I was like, oh, well, okay, it's the word for both, so it can be used for either. And so my guess is that most people do use it for either. So, all right, well, I've rabbited on about the Netherlands for a while. Are you awesome? Okay, so I think before is about ready over here. So yeah, it's the sun is creeping its way down. It's supposed to get so hot this weekend. I'm so glad it was cooler today, but it still got a little warm. The V88 says, my known languages are Dutch, English, German, French pretty fluent, and then there's a sprinkling of Spanish, Croatian, and Japanese. The last 3 are mainly for holidays. That's awesome. See, I love how that's just like normal around here. It's so wild. Like, I could say, I know the difference between like a Texas accent and an Oklahoma accent. It's not the same as knowing a whole bunch of different languages. Anyway, all right, I'm going to wrap it up here, but I'll still be in the chat, so feel free to keep chatting about stuff. Before is going to come on and start his stream, which is about plugins, like the plugins I have sitting here on top of my screen. And I will be back next week on Tuesday, as usual, at 5:30 Dutch time in the evening, and which is 11:30 U.S. Eastern Time, server time. Yes, fine avond, allemaal. And Night Raven is taking the test. That's awesome. And it is timed, so try not to get too distracted because it'll time you out, which is a bummer. Anyway, enjoy the test, and yeah, let us know in the chat how that goes, because I'm curious to see what you find amusing. Let's hope they can come to the Netherlands. It's fantastic. All right, everybody, take care. Remember to stay in contact with that Hobbit side of your heart, and take care of each other. And I'll see you next week. Bye, everybody.